Let us go. We're getting into our grand finals here. We're going to be jumping into our best of 5 and spawning in the bottom, or in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is SHIN. So just opening up, venting the room. Oh my god, as we're settling into our best of 5, settling into our grand finals, and we do have ByuN opening up, pulling a cure, quote unquote, as we're going for a 2x Reaper opener. Of course, ByuN, he is more notorious for this build. Did of course pioneer this build a couple of years ago and did influence the meta. Meanwhile, oh, we got a lot of banter here. What's going on? They're speaking so much. Hold on. Trying to whip out. Jesus. The Google Translate is failing me. But if there's any native speakers in the chat, I would appreciate it. Este SHIN, este ByuN. Let's delve into our grand finals. Let's go. For now, we do have our 2x Reaper. And this Reapers are going to be moving out across the map. The Overlord does confirm we'll get eyes on both Raxes. Bearing in mind, we could see a third Rax in the main, but ByuN is going for a CC on the low ground, and the Overlord should get eyes on this. As Reapers are moving out. Reapers are moving out. SHIN, of course, confirms. I imagine SHIN is commenting on this. I SHIN, at least from Google Translate tells me that these when he saw the opening, he was like, it was a bad idea building Raxes. And then then ByuN was laughing. No. What have you done? As we're going for a Bane Bust. Oh, okay. So if you recall, when we saw this build that Cure executed, 2x Reaper versus SHIN, SHIN responded with Roaches. Here, SHIN is responding with a Bane Bust. He's going for an all-in. He's going for the all-in, and the rationale is the same. Ooh, and it's going to punish so hard. It's a big gamble, but it's going to work out well for SHIN. What is happening here is 2x Reaper into not a 2-on-1, into a 3cc 2-on-1. Unlike Cure, ByuN is going for a very fast third command center. This is a greedier build. Bearing in mind that SHIN doesn't know this, by the way. SHIN, he doesn't know how greedy ByuN is being necessarily. God damn it, SHIN. Actually, he does collapse in. Catching out the Reapers, he gets 1. He gets 1, he's going to get 2, and he should get all 4. And remember, there's no drones. There's no drones. Here comes the Bane Bust. ByuN has no idea. And ByuN was being greedy here. Again, delayed production, delayed follow-up. No scout either. The Reapers, they failed to confirm. And here comes the Bane Bust. And ByuN is even going double eBay. He's going 3cc, double eBay before starboard. This is the greediest build you can go for. He's going for a safety Hellion, thankfully. So he'll have 1 Hellion to defend and a handful of Marines. Oh, boy. There's 1 Marine. Soon to be 3. Okay, we got 3 Marines to defend. They're going to be Vanilla Marines as well. Bear that in mind. Vanilla Marines. Here comes the Bane Bust. Breaks on through. Don't waste the Banelings on the ByuN army either. Ooh. Breaks into the main. There's 1 Hellion to defend. We got to pull the boys. Protect the Hellion. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, at least they pull away. They avoid the SCVs. We have more Banelings waddling in as well. Another Hellion. Get out of here. Yeah, the Hellion gets surrounded. Hellion falls. Baneling connects. And this is critical damage. This is critical damage already here. 15 dead SCVs. I say that ByuN does rewall. True. ByuN, he does rewall. And can ByuN make a game out of this here? He does have 3 CCs. Is this not enough damage? Is this not enough? 17 SCV kills. Stim was not denied. I mean, we're still not done. True. We're still not done. The Rax does catch fire. Boys are being pulled to repair. And ByuN holds. Wow, ByuN holds on. Stim wasn't denied. If Stim was denied, then I would prefer Shin's position here. But ByuN, he barely does hold on. ByuN has the greater economy. He has an even worker count plus an extra mule because of the 3rd CC, and he can rebuild that much faster as well. ByuN is ahead. This was an all-in that failed. Yeah, the all-in has failed. ByuN is holding. Stim finishes. And Shin is in trouble here. Shin is going for the Roach Warren follow-up. In my mind, Shin is going to drone up to like 2.5 bases and then go for like a Roach all-in, but we'll keep an eye on Shin. He could try to macro out of this. Oh boy. As again, he did not do enough damage. And remember, ByuN, he went double eBay as well. Like, he's getting his 1/1 upgrades. Yeah, there it is, Roaches. As I mentioned, Shin cannot macro. Like in this position, after a failed all-in, you cannot macro out of this. So he's going for a second all-in, a second wave. No lair, no upgrades. Roaches are coming. And the hope for Shin is to catch ByuN with his pants down. Does get a Hellion, but oh, so many Lings do fall. Oh, surrounds another. Missed control out of ByuN. Oof. Yeah, brutal Hellion shots. But the Hellions are distracted. They have not scouted the Roaches yet. You can see the Roaches, they intentionally do avoid the Hellions. Ravagers are morphing in, and again, it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Now, with the help of the Ravager Biles, we can break through the wall. That is true. And behind this, no tanks. I don't see any tanks. I don't see any defensive Hellions. The Hellions getting caught in the center of the map is brutal because now they cannot defend. And there's no bunker. ByuN doesn't know. ByuN, he didn't see the Roaches. There's no. If he had scouted, there'd be like 2 bunkers here already, and we just pre-pull the boys to repair. But again, no bunkers. ByuN is getting caught with his pants down for a second time. The pants were never on. Combat shields is denied. The wall will break. Yeah, it breaks through the wall, takes down the production, denies any additional Marines. We have our first tank on the way. Boys are being pulled. And here come the Marines. Sorry, here come the Lings. Army steps in. Ravagers don't kite back. That's a couple of Roaches falling, but the Bio Army will fall. GG. GG gets called. Shin, he overwhelms the army, and Shin takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Shin does claim a lead in the series. Again, a very intense game number 1 here. Shin initially with the Bane Bust did not do enough damage. He did trade, but he did not kill ByuN. Thankfully, though, in the follow-up, ByuN didn't scout. ByuN didn't see that Shin was going for a secondary all-in, and ByuN was still being very greedy. ByuN still going double upgrades, double eBay. ByuN had no bunkers, of course, because he did not know he needed them. Didn't realize he was in so much danger. GG. GG, well played. And with that, Shin does take a lead in the series. As that leads us into game number 2. Let's go. No, Shin, he was correct when he said that you shouldn't have made a Rax. Kappa. Ah, no. As spawning in the bottom side here of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran. Oh, so we have to fix up the player names. True. There we go. We have our Blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Zerg player. The Red Zerg player himself leading the series 1-0. It is Shin. Stay build. As ByuN once again is setting up for his Raxes on the low ground. So last game he went 2-Axe Reaper into a fast 3rd CC. He was punished by the Bane Bust into the eventual Roach all-in. This time, show us what you got. As we have a pool first build here by Shin. Ooh, SHIN is hoping, he was gambling a little bit here that ByuN will go CC first. Remember, what did Cure do on this map? He also went CC first. CC first is more common on Mothership, and it feels like SHIN wants to try to punish that. But here it's going to be 2 racks Reaper. Okay. Yeah, it's pull into hatchery late gas. Late gas is at a SHIN, which means late link speed. Aye. The Overlord will at least confirm. Will at least scout. Scout will confirm. Now he knows. Overlord does get eyes on the Raxes. And behind this, we do have earlier Queen production. We do have 4 Lings on the way. Gases are, of course, being taken. And we'll see if SHIN goes for an early Roach Warren. I don't think he'll go for another Bane Bust. But we'll see. Link speed is on the way, and you can see here he's still mining gas. He's still mining gas, so we're thinking either a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren. Technically, this could lead into a fast lair, but I'm leaning towards a tech choice, like a tech building instead. Meanwhile, we have a 3rd Rax behind this. Ooh, 3 Rax Stim follow-up here. A much more aggressive follow-up out of ByuN. Much more aggressive, not greedy this time. 3rd base is being taken by SHIN. What's that gas on? Now, at this point, because he's getting another expansion, I'm leaning more towards a lair. Which I do like more against what ByuN is doing. Like, the last thing you want to do is all in a player that's going 3 racks. 1 drone goes down. Reaper gets turned away. We got the money. Show us the lair. Oh, never mind. Going for the hidden Roach Warren behind the main. Now, SHIN had the money for this earlier. He chose not to get it. I believe the reason for this is because of the Reapers. He wanted to hide the tech structure here from the Reapers. So Reapers get zoned away, and we are going not for the lair, for the Roach Warren into gases. This feels like an early Roach rush. But he's up against a 3 racks. Again, this time it's going to be a bigger, larger ByuN army. More Marines, earlier combat shields. As this time we have two tech labs. Usually it'd be 1. So a heavier ByuN army, faster upgrades. Obviously the Roach Warren has its place here defensively, but in my eyes, SHIN is going to be aggressive. And who out-aggresses who? I do favor whoever is the defender. So if ByuN was being defensive here, I would favor him when it comes to holding onto the natural. If ByuN is going to push into SHIN, I favor SHIN. And ByuN is pushing. Oof. So, both players are being aggressive, and neither player knows. Like, SHIN has... Okay, SHIN, he sees a factory. Now he has a better idea. It could still be a faster TC. But SHIN, he will catch reinforcements. Very nice catch you out of SHIN. Yeah, catching out the Marines. Getting us around. 1, 2, 3, 4 Marines falling. Oh. Has to respect the main army. Has to respect it. ByuN is still pushing. He doesn't know he's pushing into roaches. ByuN doesn't know. He doesn't know. Now he does. Yeah, now he's aware. SHIN getting ready for this round. Doesn't want to move in too soon. He wants to wait. He has to be careful. Oof, yeah, Lings are being thrown away. Lings are thrown away. SHIN was a bit premature. Here come the Ravagers. Here comes the all-in. Yeah, here comes the Ling at Roach Ravager all-in. ByuN, he did bleed out a lot of Marines already. Tank production has begun. But this will hit before the tank arrives. The tank will spawn in mid all-in. Boys are being pulled. Oh. Gotta be careful. He's diving on the Ravagers. He's trying. Files a zone away. Are there enough Lings? No. The answer is no. Lings are falling. Ravagers are exposed. The Marines, they stim in. They want those Ravagers. Biles are buying time. But he does get on top of the Ravagers here. Yeah, gets one, gets two. Only 4 Ravagers left. And SHIN, he's running out of steam here. He wants that tank. The Biles. Oof. 3 Ravagers left. And SHIN is droning. SHIN, he's droning up back at home. Ooh, the Biles, they will connect. Oh no, they don't. Tank survives. He wants it. Yeah, 1 Bile's not enough. ByuN holds, and where exactly are we? Now, a couple of things here. If ByuN had a 3rd CC, I would favor ByuN, 100%. But ByuN doesn't have a 3rd CC. So ByuN's economy here is in the gutter. He's down to 37 SCVs. He is muling, that is true, but he's undersaturated. He's going for his own 3-1-1 setup here on 2 bases. It looks like ByuN is being forced into an all-in, basically. ByuN is being forced to push, he's being forced to fight, because he has no economy behind this. Meanwhile, SHIN has been droning. SHIN has been droning. SHIN is going for double upgrades at double Evo chamber. He's going for 1-1 behind this. Lair is now done. Roach speed is on the way. The longer this game goes on, the better it is for SHIN. And ByuN, ooh, gets a 3rd CC. This tells us that ByuN is not going all in. He might push out, but he's not going to commit as hard. It looks like he's going to leave his tanks at home. He's going for a Medivacs. He's going for a bio drop. Yeah, he's going for a Marine drop play, which means SHIN, he will maintain his lead. He will maintain his lead. There's no all-in coming his way. There's nothing to really threaten him. All that SHIN has to do is survive and keep up with the Medivac drops, which is easier said than done, right? Like, the big downside of this composition for SHIN is it's a very slow army, right? It's Roach Ravager based, not Ling Bane based, so it's a bit of a slower composition, limited anti-air. So ByuN can find damage, but the pressure is on ByuN. Ooh, speaking of pressure, double expand. 3rd CC and the 4th CC. I mean, ByuN knows he's behind. He knows he's behind, so to try to macro out of this, he will double expand. Bold move out of ByuN. From here we do see ByuN being active with his drop play. As I mentioned before, like, the pressure's on ByuN to be active and to find some damage, pick off some workers, pick off some Lings, catch out some Overlords. It's on SHIN to keep up. And a couple of drones do survive. And clutch moves. Clutch moves out of SHIN. So far as keeping up. Now, what's also important here is that if you notice something, SHIN, ooh, as he does catch a full medevac, that should not have happened. Yeah, ByuN inattentive. SHIN is not droning. He droned up a little bit here, but do you see what I see? I see undersaturation. I see what? I see a 3-base all-in. 3-base all-in is 67 drones for SHIN. SHIN is maxed. SHIN, he's maxing out with 2-2 with a Lair Tech army. SHIN is going for a 3-base all-in. He commits. Now he's pushing into a massive siege line, and this time, very good setup. We have 3 bunkers, we have all these tanks. ByuN does recognize the all-in coming his way. Is it enough? Breaks down 1, breaks down 2 bunkers, gets on top of one of the tanks. There's still a lot of tanks left over, another tank rallies in. And ByuN, he's trying to hold on. He's down to 3 tanks. 3 tanks left over. He's making a stand. But here come the Biles. Yeah, here come the Biles, getting 1 more tank. There's 2 tanks remaining. Down to 1, down to 0. Yeah, 0 tanks left. GG gets called. Contamination of the factory, and SHIN takes a 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very aggressive series so far. Remembering game one, SHIN went for a Bane Bust. Went for a Bane Bust, did fail, then went for the Roach all-in follow-up. It was a 2-base Roach all-in. Here in game 3, we saw the initial Roach rush, but it was a little bit different. Here in game 2, both players were hyper aggressive. Both players were all in. We had a 3-axe out of ByuN, we had the Roach rush out of SHIN, and we spoke about how we did favor whoever was the initial defender, and that was SHIN. SHIN, he caught the reinforcements, he collapsed on the Bio army, he counterattacked across the map, and SHIN did cripple ByuN. He crippled him enough to build up, to drone up into a later 3-base all-in, maxing out with Roach Ravager. Maxing out on 6 to 7 workers, and with that, we have a 2-0 lead for SHIN. Can ByuN recover, and can we start the comeback? Can we begin the comeback and have it back and forth? Let's go. The other question becomes, so far, game 1 was a 2-base all-in, game 2 was a 3-base all-in. Do we finally macro? Does SHIN finally macro, or do we commit into another all-in? We're gonna find out. I mean, this is also partially on ByuN. We'll get into it. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the blue Terran player. We have the blue Terran player himself. We have the South Korean Terran down in the series, down heavily in the series. Can he bounce back? Can he recover? For Shopify, it is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner. Bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg. It is SHIN. Hold on, I'm trying to Google Translate. The Google Translate is failing me. No. Are they talking about Percival? They're talking about that last game. Okay. I believe they're talking about the all-in from last game. I think ByuN was like asking like what like how could you break through, because like here he's talking about like the 6 tanks that ByuN had. I'm talking about like the defensive line with 6 tanks and 3 bunkers, and ByuN was like I had the setup, and SHIN's like, nah, experience, papi, I got you. Oh no. Bearing in mind, of course, that ByuN, he was behind economically after losing all those workers, and that's another big factor, of course, when it comes to ByuN's position. But from here, we're building up, and this time, for the first time, standard opener out of ByuN. Standard opener. No more 2-rank Reaper. That kind of goes into what I was alluding to earlier, how a lot of the all-ins that SHIN has been going for has been a reaction. Just catching up. Ravage is one hell of a unit. I mean, as we tried to emphasize, I see Sneak Josh in the chat, ByuN, he was behind economically because of the initial aggression, because of the failed 3-axe stim that ByuN went for. That's why he had a weaker mid-game. That's why SHIN was the first player to max out. Remember, he was maxed out, he had 200 supply. Just to re-emphasize. As from here, we're just building up. Hatch gas pool, mining gas early on though, once again. So what I was going to say here is that in game 1 and game 2, what prompted the aggression out of SHIN were the 2-axe Reaper openers. This time it's a standard opener, going for a 3rd TC before Starport, but SHIN is still mining gas, and this is looking like 2-base lair. I mean, SHIN has no 3rd, right? SHIN, he has a very, very late 3rd expansion, very delayed, so we're leaning more towards lair tech. Then we'll see where he takes us. So eyes are on SHIN. We are looking into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a shorter rush distance by ground, it does favor aggression, has a more open third base, but there it is, Lair is on the way. So this time there's no fast Roach Horn. So from here we can go into either 2-base Muta, 2-base Hydra, or 2-base Roach. All three are builds that SHIN does mix in from time to time. This time it's nowhere near as aggressive or assertive as last time. I see a 4th Gas Geyser. I see a 4th Gas Geyser here. We might be thinking about Aspire, but I'm not ruling out a Hydra Den. Both SHIN and Solar have been playing around a lot with 2-base Hydra all-ins. Or 2-base Hydra heavy play, where you skip your Baneliness and you go into +1 range and you go into a very heavy Hydra army. Very Miyamika-esque. But a lot of the Korean Zerg players have been embracing that, so I don't want to rule it out. So we'll see. We'll see what is done here with the Lair. See what is done. Yo, yo, ByuN, he's been watching. He's been spending too much time on Reddit, baby. Aye. Banshee opener into the Raven. Let's go. That Raven, of course, is going to be designed to save scans and to try to shut down and deny creep spread. The downside, of course, is that making the additional Raven means you have less Banshee harass, and we are going to be delaying Medarek production as well. Meanwhile, there it is. There's the Hydra Den. As I mentioned, we didn't want to rule it out. If you've been watching ZVT as of late, if you're watching Solar and SHIN, you'll know that this is a common build that they've both been embracing, is to go 2-base Hydra. They've both been playing around a lot with it. I think we've seen it a little bit out of Rogue, but it's mainly Solar and SHIN that come to mind. As Hellions, they do threaten to dive. Wings are keeping up. Here zones away. Yeah, it's going to be zoned away. We can see that Ragnarok. Oh, sorry. We can. God damn it! Not again. SHIN, he's cutting worker production. SHIN is getting his 3rd base up and running. He's cutting workers at 55. You can see here only 1 EVA chamber +1 carry base about to finish up. He's working towards specifically those Hydra upgrades. He's going for the all-in. We spoke about it, the Ling Hydra all-in. It's coming. ByuN still has yet to confirm. Hydras, they keep themselves hidden. Yeah, Hydras, they do keep themselves hidden here towards the left-hand side. There is no cloak, and he will catch the Banshee. Banshee does pull away in time. Banshee pulls away. SHIN, he sends everything across the map. All the Lings, all the Hydras. He commits. Okay, ByuN's on the high ground. At least he does scout this ahead of time. So the high ground contamination here on the Tech Lab. Ooh, denying combat shields. Okay. Bold move. Not Stim. Stim is done. Stim is complete. Denial here, delay on combat shields. Didn't go for the factory. Second tank is also coming. And here comes SHIN. Of course, ByuN can armor shred the Hydras. He's going for it. Where are the Lings? Lings are a little bit late. Here we go. Lings now diving in. Getting on top of the tanks. The boys are being pulled. And can he break through the tank line? He cannot. Yeah, the tanks, they stand strong. The Marines, they still on forward. And ByuN, he will shut this down. He will shut this down completely. It was all or nothing. And SHIN, he will lose the entire army. The Bio army, he stims. And he wins. He breaks on through. Now, it did cost him 23 SCVs, did lose all these SCVs, but ByuN is still ahead economically. Fun fact, he still has that worker advantage, he still has that economic lead, thanks to the mules. SHIN did not have enough. I believe that if SHIN was able to get this unscouted and get across the map unseen, different story, but again, ByuN, he had time to react, time to respond. And the Hydras, they cannot defend themselves. They can't defend themselves back. They're so fragile. Again, there was just that one big timing that SHIN had. That one all in. And with it failing, it's all falling apart. The boys are being pulled. Pulled into the Marines. GG gets called, and ByuN does fight back, does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth here. Again, this Hydra all-in, we have been seeing it have success, but ByuN did see it ahead of time. He was able to scout it, able to respond, able to react, able to set up back at home with his bio army, with his tanks, with his Raven as well, which also did kind of come into play. I mean, I don't think the armor shred really was that impactful. Like, the Hydras were already vulnerable without it, to be fair, but the Link Dive was less than ideal. You know, the boys being pulled was beautiful there for ByuN, as even though he lost 23 SCVs, he saved his tanks. He preserved his bio army. It was worth it. It was worth losing all those SCVs. And with that, ByuN does fight back, and we're getting to the Old Republic for Game 4. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner here of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran, we have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing himself, currently teamless. It is SHIN. Leading the series 2-1. Let's go. Let us go. We are here. SHIN, he still needs one wild. Let's go. He's going for the proxy hatch block. He's an animal, Pappy. Here we go. The hatchery gets thrown down. ByuN, he's going for, thankfully, a Rax expand, not a CC first. But that does also mean that there's going to be plenty of progression on this hatchery, and that will threaten ByuN. We'll see if ByuN pulls the boys to deal with this. It might be too late. It might just be too late. Just because it's going to be such a late reaction, such a late scout for ByuN. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Now he knows. And now he does see, he does react with his add-ons, and he sets up on the high ground. Again, this hatchery should finish. With this, we can get a queen out, and we can start to spread creep. This will delay the expansion even further, spreading creep, forcing out additional scans. Ideally, you want to be spreading creep terminals towards every edge of the natural. So here, behind the mineral line, behind the gas geyser, closer to the edge, just to force out as many scans as possible. So here comes that queen, here comes the creep. Behind this, SHIN should be droning. He's making a handful of lings here to apply some pressure. Yo, he can start some spine crawlers as well. I don't see SHIN pushing up the ramp, but I believe this should all just be to delay. But depending on the setup here, because of the he's going for a second Rax. He's going for a delayed factory. Without any Hellions and without any tank production, that means that the spine crawlers can actually threaten this. The Overlord is moving in, the Overlord will provide high ground vision, and the spines can chip away at the depots. Here comes that first tumor. As we mentioned, the most important thing, of course, is setting up all those tumors. And remember that if creep exists, the natural cannot be taken. So we're going to spread as many tumors as possible. Green has to be careful. Spine crawler does move forward. Behind this, now SHIN is droning. As we mentioned, I don't really think SHIN's goal here is to kill, it's just to delay. And with the added benefit here of these spine crawlers, you can even just chip away and even supply block. And again, I do think this is just a really risky maneuver from ByuN to not go for the factory. Tumor gets focused. That was a mistake there from SHIN. Tumor was too close. Depot goes down. And again, with only vanilla Marines, like, he can't break out. Like, ByuN cannot break out with this. Not for a long time, not without stim. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Depot taking a lot of damage, no repairs yet. Show us that creep tumor. As there we go, second Depot falls, now going for the add-ons, going for the reactor. Again, ByuN cannot break out of this. Yeah, I feel like ByuN fumbled a little bit. Obviously, when stim finishes and when the upgrades kick in, ByuN can break out and he can stim, of course. He can stim freely. Even here, Sub says forward. It does take down one of the spines. Takes down the other. Now it's going to be up to Shin to abandon this position. And again, he's been droning, right? He's been droning. He's been saturating. The scan does take down one tumor. But there's still another here behind the gas. And we can maybe get another here behind the mineral patch. Remember, the queen is still alive. Oh, he wants the queen. He gets it. Queen goes down. There's the second scan. There's still an active tumor here towards the third base. So that was two scans being utilized. And ByuN has to find damage with this army. He is so delayed on this expansion. The problem is that Shin is already on 2-base economy. He's already on 2 bases. He's now claiming a third, and he's building up his roaches. Like, the roaches are amassing as we speak. So here comes that Roach Ravager. It is building up. Oh. There's a collapse on the Bio Army. Marines, they try to trade, but again, Roach Ravager is just so hefty here. It's so beefy. Shinny holds his own. And we got some catching up to do here. Now, what I'm most concerned about here is that we could see a repeat of game number 2. What happened in game 2? Well, Shin was able to get an early lead early on, and then he droned up to 67 workers. He droned up to a 3-base economy, got a 4th base just for lava, and then he went into a maxed out Roach Ravager move out. A big 2-2 timing. I think it was 1-1 or 2-2. I think it was 1-1. But he went for a big all-in, and I'm leaning towards seeing that here as well. Now, ByuN isn't out of this. There's a lot of potential for ByuN to recover, specifically with drop play, right? We have reactored medevac here, reactored medevac production out of ByuN. Medevacs are on the way, and then we can start to be active and move out across the map and find overlords, deny creep, and potentially even get some economic damage. So here come those medevacs. Catching at the overseer. Safety infestation bit on the way. Shin, he can take up into infestors. The infestation bit tells us that most likely Shin will not go for an all-in, that Shin will get a 4th base and macro up. Macro into Hive Tech, into Infestors, into Ultras. That's the direction we're going in. Double drop is spotted. To have our infestors on the way. Again, because there are no banelings, Shinny has to rely on fungal growths. Let's rely on those fungals. ByuN simming in. Oh, he wants a queen. And it looks like he should get it. There we go, denies the expansion. Queen goes down. Nice pickup. Hive is on the way. As we mentioned, the goal here, the end goal should be for Hive Tech. It should be for Ultras. Shin is almost there. Let's pull away. Yep, there's the melee upgrade. If we saw +1 range on the horizon, then that would be more indicative of Hydras and Lurker tech. But due to the melee upgrade, it's more indicative of Ling, Bane, Ultra. So we're finally getting a macro game. True. We have yet to experience a macro game between these two players. Microbial Shroud? Okay. I mean, I'm impressed that I didn't even stumble on remembering what that upgrade was, because we never see it. But sure. Sure. Okay. What? I mean, it's meant to be more useful now. For those that don't remember, in the latest patch, Microbial Shroud did get a big change. And now it works against ranged attacks, not just air attacks like it did previously. So there was a brief little period last year in November, December, like November, December of last year. Oh, that's a full medevac goes. Dark, is that you? Oh my god. Catching out a full medevac, brutal pickoff. But last year, a couple of months ago, November, December, a lot of Zerg players were playing around with Microbial Shroud Ultras in ZVP. And there was a little bit of success with it until it got shut down. Protoss players started responding more with a heavy immortal count, and even with Microbial Shroud, like heavy immortals just destroy ultras. And the meta kind of shifted, of course. But there was a brief period where this was being used by specifically the European Zerg players. So think Lambo and Raynor. Like Lambo and Raynor. They were playing around with it. We saw a little bit of this in ZVT, of course. And I feel like SHIN's ahead enough and comfortable enough to embrace it here. It's been a while. Oh my, as he almost gets another medevac. SHIN. Ay, ay, ay. The tracking, like as that medevac is one shot away from going down. Ragnarok is built up. Catching out two drones. SHIN, he is maxing out. I mean, both players are. Bearing in mind as well that one of the big differences here, as ByuN was kind of like stumbling his way into the mid game, is that SHIN, he's maxed out with a hive tech army. ByuN is not ready for this. ByuN has a very, oh my god, he's very tank heavy here. No ghosts, no liberators, going for pure tank essentially here to survive. He's got 11 tanks, soon to be 13. But here comes Microbial Shroud. Helping to cover the ultras. Tanks are falling. There's just a non-stop Microbial Shroud. He breaks through. Yeah, breaks through the siege line. Oof. You can see here without Microbial Shroud, the ultras, they just melt, they evaporate. But hey, he got into the mineral line, took down most of the tanks, if not every tank, and with that, that is critical damage. 25 SCVs, the Vials, they kill the CC. Yeah, the command center does go down. Assuming there's no repair in time, yeah, it does fall. So no command center. Likewise, that was what, 10 tanks falling? 9. That was 9 tanks going down. ByuN he had built up to 11. Lost 9, and now SHIN can back off and do that again. Now that did cost him all the infestors, so the next time we see this, there won't be Microbial Shroud. Like, it was kind of like a one and done sort of thing. Now we're back into just pure Ling Ravager infestor, sorry, Ling Ravager Ultra. We have the Spire on the way just in case. Liberator production has begun. And ByuN is hurting. ByuN is hurting. You can see once again he's trying to rebuild that tank count. Ultras, they collapse in. The Lings, they come in from behind another tank. Yeah, the tanks were exposed. That's going to be 4 tanks going down. GG gets called, and SHIN, he will claim the series 3-1, taking down ByuN and becoming this week's KungFu Cup, at least week number 3, champion. GG. Whew, GG, well played. SHIN, he will claim the series. SHIN, he will win the first weekly of 2026. Like, am I crazy? Like, it's quite rare. It's quite rare to have Zerg champions, and I'm curious here. Hold on. I want to say Solar, he won a weekly this year as well, right? I'm pretty sure he did. Wardy, Pegasus Cup, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and KungFu Cup. and KSL. All right, hold on, we'll double check. But GG well played. It's quite rare to see, but SHIN, he does pop off. Hyper aggression, by the way, and reliant on ZVT. I will say that SHIN, he was able to avoid all the top Protoss players. He did not play against, you know, your heroes or classics or Clems. I guess Clem is Terran. Against SHIN. So SHIN, who was relying a lot more on his EVT, and we saw him pop off against both Kira and ByuN, and this is a very aggressive series. A lot of all-ins, Bane all-ins, Roach all-ins, hyper-aggression. This was the only game that did last into the late game, but even then, SHIN had a lead, had the advantage coming into this after dealing so much damage early on when it came to his Roach aggression, right? Then was able to build up and get into his own hive tech and get into the late game after taking a lead. So do bear that in mind. But GG well played. GG well played. Let me just double check here. I need to check the other weeklies. Okay, Wardy TV Monday. We've yet to have a Zerg champion in the Wardy TV Mondays this year. So none in the Wardy TV Mondays. Did we have a Solar win in Picasso Cup? I want to say we did. Okay, we had Solar did win this year in Picasso Cup. Okay, so we've had 0 Zerg champions in the Water TV Mondays. We've had Solar, he did win in Picasso Cup. And what about Tuna Cups? Did we have Solar win? SHIN, yeah. SHIN, he's our only Zerg champion in Tuna Cups. So let's go. This is the, I want to say the fourth Zerg weekly win of the year. Let's go. Este SHIN, papi, este SHIN. Which is momentous. GG well played. GG well played. Does claim the win here. And again, with the more unique style, like I should say that players like Raynor, players like Cyril don't really embrace this kind of more aggressive style of like hyper aggression. Partly it was a reaction to the 2x Reaper builds that we were seeing from Kira and ByuN. That is true. It was partially a reaction, but at the same time, like even on some of the more macro games, like we still saw some really heavy Hydra play. Sorry, we still saw some very heavy layer tech play. Game 3, for example, was a Hydra all-in out of SHIN. Which did kind of fall on its face, but it was scouted ahead of time, and ByuN was able to shut it down. But GG well played. GG well played. Congratulations here to SHIN. Shout out to ByuN for making it to the finals and for bringing down Clem on his way to the finals as well. True. It was a tough road there for ByuN. Tough road, but GG well played. Congratulations. And with that, we have crowned our champion for week 3 of KungFu Cup. Bearing in mind the week number 4 of KungFu Cup just began. I believe I just now started, I want to say. It was a little bit earlier. I saw it an hour ago. But that's being covered by Steadfast. It's being covered by Rotterdam, so you can check that out there if you wish. We'll be covering it next week via replays. Again, when it comes to KungFu Cups and Voice TV Mondays, they do start at a better time nowadays, but they still end very, very late for us, so we will be relying on replay coverage for those events for the time being. That might change in the future, but just as a heads up if you're curious. Otherwise, live coverage of those tournaments are typically done by Rotterdam, Steadfast, and by Wardy. They usually have you covered. Otherwise, GG well played. We're going to be wrapping up here for the time being, and do give some love to some of the other Zerg streamers out there. Who is live at the moment? Who can we raid? Your Code Bar is streaming? Let's go. It's been a while. But we'll give some love to sort of. We've been raiding Trigger quite a bit, but I don't think he's live today. Yeah. In honor of SHIN, we'll give sort of some love. Give him some love. Show them how to do it now, except for Zerg champions. I mean, this was just like hyper aggression, hyper all-ins out of SHIN. It's very SHIN-esque. As I mentioned before, Solar has been playing similar to this. Like Solar, he has been embracing this a little bit, but Solar isn't as heavily reliant on this sort of style. So Solar, he sprinkles it into his play here and there. I don't really see Raynor or Cyril doing much of this. It's not really their style to be this Roach heavy or to be as aggressive. More stylistic for Solar. Sorry, for SHIN. More stylistic, which isn't a bad thing. But GG well played. And with that, congratulations. With that, we're going to be wrapping up here for the night. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't think we have. Do we have a calendar command? Heading on over here, we have the rest of our schedule. We just wrapped up with KungFu Cup. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday broadcast as well. We have the Pondcast tomorrow evening. We have TLMC on Friday, Amantes on Saturday, SDO and STC over the weekend. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft this week. We did miss out on Pickers Cup this morning. I was just too fatigued. Like I got zero sleep, so I just could not handle a Pickers Cup in the morning. It would have been a rough broadcast. And the casting would not have been too good. So I do apologize. We should be catching with Pickers Cup at some point in the future. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for Wardy TV Monday or tomorrow evening for the podcast. See you then. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.